Hey everyone, my name is Cliff, and I'm working to play War Stories, the role-playing game, using Roll20 online, and I'm just kind of documenting my process because I want to make this more of a sandbox game where I do more than just play the published scenarios, which I'll buy and have bought, and share with others, GMing with friends, mostly online. I don't have space to have a whole bunch of miniatures all over tables. There aren't a lot of resources to do what I want to do, so I'm building things on the fly, and I thought I'd share it with people. If you want, I'm putting it all in a blog, sharing the documents I have in my Google Drive, and you can download them, use them, modify them, do whatever you want to them. And I'm going to begin by assuming that you don't know anything about Roll20, and we're just going to start from scratch. And I'm going to share as I play as we get going. So the first thing we need to do is go to Roll20 online. That's not hard to find. And as a free account, you can play along if somebody else is GMing. If you want to be a GM or if you want to play solitaire, you're going to need GM ability. You have to have a paid account. I have a pro account just so I can script and stuff. I've been playing with JavaScript. I like to see how many ways I can break things. At any rate, let's just assume we want to start from the beginning. We want to initialize a game, and I want to bring in a Fate Oracle, because if I'm in a sandbox, I want something like the Mythic GM Fate Oracle system so that I can roll for random things and be surprised, even though I'm basically being the GM and player. Now, if you're playing with miniatures, obviously just get the Mythic GM Fate chart and roll 2d10s and be done with it. I'm not going to recreate that on paper because you can and should go get it yourself from Mythic. But I'm creating a electronic version to put into my War Stories game, and I'll show you how to do this. So let's just begin. We're going to create a new game, and we wait. And after a few seconds, we'll get our screen, and we got to give our game a name. I'm just going to call it Demo because we're going to get rid of this one. I play in Jumpgate. It's a different user interface than the classic. I don't really know the difference because I'm fairly new to Roll20 myself. The reason I like Roll20 is because there is a War Stories character sheet. I got to spell it right though. War. There it is. I picked that character sheet, which is going to do a lot of the die rolling for us. I like it. I'll create that game. And there we are. We can add a pretty picture if we want. With a pro account, you can go into settings and go to the APIs. And here, I need an API. It's called Table Export, which allows me to bring in tables easily. And I'm just going to add that in. There is also an API actually for the Mythic, for the Mythic GM, and you can add that too. I don't use it. Yeah, because its output doesn't match the output in the chat window of the character sheet, and my OCD nature likes to see everything look the same because I'm using the chat window as sort of my game log, which I copy out and paste into a growing Word document so I can document what I'm doing. So let me just go back out to home. I should have this now. I can launch this. I do have that API in for table export. We're just going to get a blank map. I've already got posts on how I'm doing strategic and tactical maps and links to where I got the resources. They're not mine. I purchased them. They're not that much. And for the armor, I just went out and found things on the web and built things as tokens for any armor that I might encounter. What I want now to do is bring in my Mythic GM, and I've provided in the blog this text. This is the Fate Oracle. I just select all and copy. And with that table export function, I can just paste this in here and hit enter. And that script automatically and silently encodes all of that gibberish into 81 Fate rollable tables. Every combination of odds and chaos factor. So there's 9 times 9, 81 combinations. To make this easier to use, I create a macro. Now you could, with a free account, put those tables in one line at a time, 81 tables. It's hundreds of lines. Tedious, but possible. The macro I've given you online. The title I use for my macro, for Fate, and I'm just going to paste that in. And I'm actually giving you the macro code, which you can just copy and paste. It'll be in the blog post, and I just say save changes. And then here we can add Fate to the macro bar, so it appears down here. Easy peasy. Bring up my chat window here. This is for resources. This is your characters. This is soundtrack. These are your various assets that you shouldn't have to play with much during the game. If we make macros, everything we need will be down here on our macro bar. When I click Fate, let's say it's the beginning of an action and I'm approaching some Germans in some buildings and I want to know how alert are they. I can do Fate. I get to put in a question. Are the German I cannot type. Trees alert. And I give it odds and I say, well, it's likely they're pretty alert. And my current chaos factor, which starts at 5. Go back to the Mythic GM emulator if you don't know about this system. When I do that, it gives me an answer. Are the German sentries alert? No. This is the same kind of interface I get with any die roll coming off the character sheet, so it all looks nice. Some of my German sentries are not alert. I'm going to give them a penalty to their perception check as we're approaching their positions. I'm going to be creating a bunch more macros. Well, I already have, but I'll be sharing them. You're going to build them the exact same way, so I'm not going to run through this every time. I'm just going to give you the text files. I'm going to give you the macro code and the macro name, and you can build them yourself if you want. For tables that are unique, not in the rules, or not available online, I'll also give a PDF copy that you can use on the tabletop. I'm not going to do that for the Mythic GM emulator. If you want it, you ought to just go out and get it. It's not that expensive. It's an excellent system. Everybody uses it. And I will show you more in future posts. I hope this is of some use and interest to others. I will talk to you later.